What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's Sunday, you know what that means. My Hero Academia Reccusion, so let's just get started right now. Alright, so first thing that we see when we open up the chapter is we see Toya, or Dabi, back as a child. The winds of winter howled that day, and the air was dry. In the past, I had used to train up on Sekoto, I think it's Sekotopede or Sekoto. I don't know. Again, apologies for any and all mispronunciations. And it was there that Toya burned to death. Oh God. They say the fire burned at over 2,000 degrees Celsius that day, and that his body was never found. Oh my. His bones were reduced to ash and the blazes' updraft scattered them to the wind. Only a fragment of his lower jawbone was found. And yet at the time I kept. And then Endeavor's talking to Toya. He's like, what's going on with your hair? It's turning white. And he's just like, no way, I ain't so, man. And he's like, did you dye it? And he was like, who? No way. And Endeavor's talking about how his eldest did, and Harbor Frost within him. And Toya's like, forget that. Today's the day you teach me an ultimate move. And Endeavor basically says, hey, yeah, the fire that he's got is more powerful than my own. And Endeavor actually kind of smiles. So this is okay. He didn't have a way to overcome the inescapable downside of overheating, but I nevertheless sought to raise the boy to be a hero. He's still, Endeavor's basically saying he still yearns for a child that whose quirk combined fire and ice. My wife wanted more kids because they can encourage each other. And then Fiumi, my second, was born. She only inherited Ray's quirk. Neither child bore the ideal quirk I was hoping for. He was still happy at this all at the same time. Toya had more potential than me. I placed my ambitions on his shoulders. And, he's like, ow. I thought it could be you. And, he's basically like, I thought you could be the one to reach my internal goal of surpassing All Might. My frustration, my envy, the ugliness in my heart, you could have been the one to smash it all to dust. And Endeavor's just like, no, Toya's dead. And he's just like, take back that lie. And Toya's like, nope, I'm clearly alive. And that's the despicable truth, Dad. Because you put a whole agency together of fire and heat type quirks, you didn't even suspect me. And now we cut to the League of Villains, and they're basically like saying, Dabi never spoke a word of this. He kept it hidden from us. What's up with that? But anyway, they're telling Shigaraki, wake the fuck up. Makia needs orders. And Twice is basically saying, my word, another with quite the bloodline. Now, I think he might be referring to Shigaraki in this case, being related to, Nana, or maybe it's somebody else entirely. We don't know, but we'll talk about this later. And Davi's basically saying, you don't believe me? Alright. I'll donate some blood or some skin. Go ahead, get a DNA test. And he says, not that it matters since the test I ran has already gone public. There is a 99.9% match between my DNA and a sample of Endeavor's blood from the battle in Kyushu. Still, I'm sure many of you believe this to be an elaborate hoax, so I'll just have to convince you otherwise. After all that, Endeavor made sure Mom kept having kids. The fourth was someone most of you are familiar with. I think, yes, at long last, little Shoto was the successful creation. And he even abused that successful creation. I've seen him do it many times. And then we cut back to his sister, and his brother. Endeavor doesn't, and he's, this is Dobby talking through his video that we saw at the beginning of near the beginning of his last chapter. He's basically saying that Endeavor doesn't have an empathetic bone in his body. At its core, he's addicted to the limelight, a man who wallows in his own small-mindedness and self-importance. Is that the sort of person who should call himself a hero? And then we cut back to Endeavor's fanboy, the one that we met whenever Endeavor became the pro #1. He's like freaking out. He's lying. He's got to be. Whoever would believe this? And he's basically saying people ain't gonna lose faith in a hero over this. We're not that freaking stupid. And they're saying those who keep Endeavor company with Endeavor are no different. Oh shit. Oh, he recorded Hawks killing twice. Or no, yeah, he killed twice. And that kid just like freaked out, and he's like, that crying villain who's trying to run away, I did my best to protect him, but Hawks skewered that guy without the slightest hesitation. And obviously it's cut together because hacker guy perfectly spliced and edited even on the fly. Just bow down to my skills. Thanks to you and your camera for that prime footage. No reason not to use what we got, right? And this is my present to you, Endeavor. See, I did some digging into Hawks, that filthy spy. In order to curry favor with us, Hawks even killed a hero, the #3 in fat who was recuperating. He killed... What? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure Genus is still alive. Carrying out that murder didn't ruffle the feathers in his slightest, since it was already so ingrained in his lifestyle. And we cut to Tokiyami and Hawks, and Tokiyami's just like, he's like, what? And it's really no wonder, because his father was a serial robber and murderer. He was a villain, which is exactly why Hawks' background and real name were kept secret. Ooh, interesting. Endeavor's the one who captured his father, actually. Maybe it was that connection, some twist of fate that brought these men together. And Dobby's just basically saying, I couldn't let that stand. These twisted people with skeletons in their closet, they all covered up with mask of justice, but they don't care. They call themselves heroes and keep fooling everyone. I just want everyone to stop and think. The only ones these heroes protect are themselves. With all that ugliness inside, they use you people to give them protection, approval, admiration. Can't you see, kid? This is bad news. And that's the person saying that is like, I'm guessing he's like a shark, but Endeavor fanboy and his friend the shark. And we just have like a panel of all these heroes just like reacting. And this is bad. And the friend's basically saying this is bad news. By speaking out, he's already won. Whether he's lying or not, that's a question for later. He might be a villain, but people going to lose faith over this. I hate to say it, but I did too. I'm sorry. Especially with all this damage and destruction. Anyone witnessing all this would have to be stupid not to lose faith, right? Thanks for going strong up until now, Endeavor. And that's the one, Dobby's saying that. Endeavor's just like, he's broken. And he was basically saying, at the time I kept searching for you. Shoto's like, Father, he's coming. I didn't believe you were dead. And Shoto's basically saying, protect Midori and the others. Hato and I will fight. Get moving, you gotta protect them. Come on, worry about the rest later. And Dobby comes down with a flash fire fist, and Bakugo and Deku are just like, oh god. And Dobby hits him with a prominence, or he's about to hit him with a prominence, but he's just like, from the sky, oh, what's that? And then you see apologies for best geniuses on the scene. Oh, okay. Oh, this is gonna be good. All right, we're gonna do, we're gonna hop on over there and talk about this. All right, so I fucking love this chapter. This was so fucking good. God, this. Oh man. This was a lot of fun, man. Scrolling through the fact that the one thing I want to know, I want to know if they're gonna talk about this in the next chapter or whatever. Was it like a sparring exercise that caused the fire that they thought killed Toya, or was it just the fact that Toya overused his powers that caused him to burn himself to death? Double checking, and it doesn't really outright say, although we do get that hint. We do get that hint, I guess, that Toya may have burned himself to death by mistake when we see a picture, or we see a panel of him just like with burns on his arm, and he's just like. So I'm guessing that's what happened, is that he accidentally burned himself to death. Something I guess interesting is that or I don't, maybe not interesting isn't the word, but from the little we see of Endeavor and this flashback, like, he doesn't seem like a monster, or as much of a monster as he was whenever he was training Shoto. So it's possible that after Toya's death, that's when he just kind of broke and became the monster that he really is. He still had his ambition, and I'm not saying that he's completely absolved of his mistakes, or that he's a completely good person in this, but it's just like he wasn't as bad as he was with Shoto. So I'm guessing that after Toya died, that's kind of when he fell down, because but this is also from his point of view. So yeah, I could be very well wrong, because he's saying that his wife wanted more kids, and saying that they're going to encourage each other. So I don't know if that's just him thinking this just to make himself feel better, or if that's truly a thing. But I kind of find that a little bit interesting, that from the little that we see between Endeavor this far back, is that he's still forced the marriage to produce a super being, but he wasn't. Yeah, I'm gonna just leave on that note. Since I don't know, I can't remember if they have any like a film crew or whatever near this battle, so there's no way that they can prove the fact that Genus is still alive, and but I get, just because, let's face it, after that video that Dobby showed of spliced together of Twice being murdered by Hawks, there's only so much that he can do. There's only so much that they can do, but he can prove that they're lying due to the fact that, or somewhat lying due to the fact that Genus is still alive. I think it's both kind of. It's a mixture of everything. It's like sweet, adorable, sad, just that Endeavor put a whole agency together of fire and heat type quirks. I guess he was trying to find Toya, because the way what he's saying is like he's clear, nope, I'm clearly alive, and that's a despicable truth, Dad, because you put a whole agency together of fire and heat type quirks, you didn't even suspect me. So I saw someone on Twitter post like that they think that Endeavor did that to try to find Toya, which, if that's that's how they meant it, that's just a lot of things to deal with. So, and again, something that I put in this out was Compress talking about someone with another bloodline. Again, I don't know if he could very well be talking about himself, and he's no, okay. I was trying to think if Compress could possibly be that to be douchebag, yeah, that guy. But then I'm like, no, wait, no, that wouldn't make any sense, because how would he be able to, two quirks? But yeah, ignore that. That was just a stupid idea. But yeah, he's when Compress is saying my word, someone with another with quite the bloodline. So I don't know if that's referring to himself. Maybe he's referring to Shigaraki or something. Who knows? In all honesty, I just love how overly dramatic Davi is. I'm just like, that's just so damn cool. Like, I think Shigaraki's a better character, but Davi's just so much fucking fun that I just kind of don't care. Shigaraki was like my favorite villain for a while, but now it might just be Davi because he's just having fun with it, and I love everything about that. I am worried about Shoto's brother, sister, and his mother, because we did cut back to them working, and I'm guessing they're in school, and they're just like, oh no, they're like freaking out. I wonder if this was all, like, obviously this was planned, but I wonder if this is what Shigaraki kind of had in mind when he's saying that he wanted to destroy Hero Society. And so another thing that I thought was interesting was Fanboy. He's just like, I refuse to believe this. No, he's in denial bad. It's, you're just like, oh god, poor kid. Still, like, I like how they managed to splice and cut the video of Hawks killing twice and made it seem like he just decided to murder him, and well, he did, but just spliced it to where he was like begging for his life and everything. Also interesting is the fact that Hawks' dad was put away by Endeavor, and yeah, so it makes, like, Hawks, kind of had this fascinating with Endeavor of, helping him out, basically. For the most part, I had to go and double check the exact wording on that, but makes me wonder, did Hawks know that Endeavor put up his dad and he didn't care because he saw him as a good or a better person and wanted to support him, or what the deal with that is? I feel really bad for Tokiyami, just because his mentor and his idol were like being outed as a murderer, which no matter what, he is. And so I'm just worried about, I wonder how he's going to react. And I like how Davi's just like talking about how he couldn't let that stand, like he's some like vigilante or whatever, but he's just he's just doing this just to fuck people over. Well, so I just find it hilarious. The one thing I will say this, that I think is kind of weird is Fanboy, his friend, the shark, or I guess it's a whale, I'm not sure. He's basically saying, the only reason why I find it weird is because they're like the same age, but he's like, can't you see, kid? Like, I don't know if anybody who's the same age calls other people kid. That's just really, really weird. But I do like how he brings up the point. It doesn't matter if he's lying or not. By bringing all this up, then people are going to question heroes and everything. And he's like, you know what? Me too. I'm sorry, but all this damage and destruction, why should I trust these heroes? And that anybody witnessing all this would have to be stupid not to lose faith. But something that I really, really like is just, like I said, Endeavor, it's like he's finally broken. Like, he is finally, like, he's realized his past mistakes. He's been working on trying to improve and become a better person. Even if he's never forgiven, he just wants to become a better person. But I just like how he's finally just broken, and he just, curious as to what happens next with that, just because I don't know. And the fact that he never believed that Toya was dead and that he kept searching for him, just very curious. I like how, and same thing with Shoto. He's just like, he's starting. I didn't notice this when I was first reading through it, but he's starting to cry, and he's just like, you got to protect, Midoriya and the others, and worry about the rest later. And then just Davi just coming down with like a flash fire fist, like prominence burn, and just like Deku and Bakugo are just like, they're bracing, but they're like, oh fuck, this isn't good. And then before they can connect, Best Genius comes in and saves the day. And I was like, that's why I was like, wait, how is it? He was alive because I pointed that that was pointed out in a couple chapters ago. So they probably really thought that he was dead. But now that he's alive and he's back in action, makes you think what's going to happen next. But overall, like I said, very, very good chapter. I'm so excited, but I'm upset because it's a 2-week break, so no discussion next week. But I will have another video planned out, probably not for next Sunday, but for the week. So keep an eye out for that. And as always, let's get the discussion rolling. What did you think of this chapter? Comment down below. Like I said, let's just get this discussion going. But anyways, as always, I want y'all to have a fantastic day, and I'll see y'all later.